Hi, good evening, everybody. I know marketing people love to talk in numbers. They want to set targets, which look like, I want to get 20% more revenues. I want to get, X number more in sales. I want to have, Y more clients walk into my store or to my business, or I want, X increase in footfalls. So this is the sophistication level on the competitive advantage, and it starts in layers. You start understanding data, you start getting more questions and adding more data and trying to make more sense out of it. We all know the problem is not that we don't have data. Problem is we have too much data. In fact, far too much from too many sources. To be able to make sense out of it, you need to have the right objective. You need to work with an objective, work with the logic, use the right data that we want to use, get to where we want to do with that. What is predictive analytics all about? So we've all heard these terms. I know some of you might be working with this already. Essentially what it means is we are collecting data from different sources, which is transactional data. A customer comes in, gets a credit card, starts using it. There's a lot of behavior. What kind of purchases, what industry, what amounts, which locations, which kind of establishments and merchants, what time of the day, and so on. Then retail, what do I buy? If I walk into a big bazaar, if I walk into a Walmart, what are the things that I'm buying? What frequency, what size of the basket, what is my behavior? Is it, breakfast stuff? Is it household stuff? Is it consumables, which are grocery? Is it, is it a large basket, which is purchased over a weekend? Is it 6 o'clock for the next morning? So a lot of those variables come into the play. The second is you choose an approach. How do you understand whether some elements of the campaign are leading to wastage, whether some of the elements are fine-tuned? For example, what if I send, like in the US, there's a lot of campaign which goes with physical mailers into your, physical postage box. So how do I understand I'm not bothering a customer by sending too many mailers? The same thing applies on an email campaign. Same thing could apply in anything else. So it's not just the cost in terms of the rupee number. It's the cost also in terms of some of the softer factors. So should I send an email to a customer once a week, once a month for the same offer, different offer? So these are good questions to ask. The more you have data from the past and you do post-facto analysis, you can fine-tune and take that as a feedback and move forward with it. Do this, deploy this, measure this. This completes the cycle. And there's a feedback loop. The good part about working with data is, the ROI is very easy to measure. Most of the time you have enough numbers. If you're tracking it well, you'll get to know within the next, cycle what is happening. Marketing also delves into loyalty. Look at a small establishment. Once you start to go bigger, then obviously it is an issue. But even for a small setup, how do you understand what a customer is loyal to? So loyalty starts with a card, most of the time, or an identifier which tells us who this customer is. Not just brand building, even analytics is seen as a cost by many clients. And I'm not just talking small businesses. Even some of the largest retailers in the world have, and I heard this pretty much within the last 2 weeks. One of the biggest brands in the globe, but an Indian entity of the same. They said, hey, so basket analysis, as the word pretty much says, look at it from a pure English perspective. A basket is a set of goods you purchase in a store. And so let's analyze that. And we should be able to derive some behavior for it. And this should be able to link with our marketing objectives. So this is a basket of goods that we purchase. And it basically talks about, what are the SKUs, what are the products, how many times I've been shopping, what kind of store I'm going to, what time of the day I'm going to, and so on and so forth. Single store, very small store. They did this analysis. They understood, they came out with some 20 or 25 associations of products which they worked upon and lifted their revenues within the next month by close to 2.5%. Doesn't look maybe too great, but 2.5% in 1 month with a simple analysis. This is the power of data, even on a small business scenario. And the moment you start getting big, it's simply additive.